Apologies for the quick breaking transmission there. So we go back to this first semi-final, ProShar Misfits against the Titans. Titans leading 1-0. Still 1.5 minutes left on the clock. So the Titans, ProShar Misfits can turn this around. ProShar Misfits will be playing from the right-hand side of the field. Orders being shouted from the pits before the game begins. Then it has to be complete silence. Already the Misfits losing a player. So they're down to 2. Titans looking confident. They just need the one. They've got plenty of time to be able to do it as well. It's now up to the Misfits to be able to do something. They spread across the field. One at Dorito and one at the center middle. A left middle, correction. Center middle is the same place.
60 seconds.
With only a minute on the clock, I think the Titans will just sit back now and wait for the Misfits to have to come up. This is from the Eastern Cape. Misfits from the Eastern Cape. They've made their way from the Eastern Cape, but unfortunately they're going to get eliminated at the halfway point. Going to play for 3rd place. But Titans lose a player. 2 versus 2, just seconds on the clock now. Movement up the right-hand side now for the Misfits. Up into the center middle, up and moving another position. Misfits now getting gung-ho up into the hotel. Seconds left on the clock for them to be able to do something. It might all be too little too late though. Titans just happy to be waiting, and the clock will run out. So the Titans will win that 1-0 and book themselves a place in the final. The Misfits will play for 3rd and 4th position. Who will they meet? We will find out now. Who will they meet? No Show leading 1-0. 1 minute 40 on the clock. As a boat makes its way past behind us in the big Vaal River. Lovely dock spry facilities here at
10 seconds.
Emerald Resort and Casino. Excuse me.
Game on.
Playing for a place in the final of the Division 4 X-Ball. 3 no-shows still in the park, but some good movement by X-Factors. They moved up the field nicely. X-Factor player thinking he's been hit, but the referee gives him the go-ahead. They spread nicely across the field. No Show don't need to do anything. They can just sit back and wait, but they still go and make a little move forward, getting behind that small barrier.
60 seconds.
Only a minute left in the clock. Can X-Factor push forward? X-Factor moving up into the snake, and they lose a player at the same time. X-Factor going to have to do something now. Time's running out, and No Show moving up on the right-hand side of the field. They're going to open up those angles. Being pinned back behind that Dorito, though. But as he's doing that, up to Dorito 2 goes another No Show player. X-Factor running out of time. Sure, those no-show players just looking at the clock, knowing that they're that close from a final position. Movement up to Dorito 3 now for the X-Factor.
Game time finish. Game finish.
But time will be on their hands. So no-show move into the final. And no-show will come up against the Titans in the final. whereas the Misfits will meet X Factor for third and fourth place playoff. We'll get that up on the screen as soon as it refreshes.
Titans left, no show right. Misfit left, X Factor right. Titans left, no show right. Misfits left, X Factor right.
So no show in X Factor right.
Yeah. Should be on the screens already as well. And Titans and Misfits left, no show and X Factor right.
Titans, Misfits, left. No show, X Factor, right.
So that's confirmation now of the finals playoff. Got Titans up against No Show for first place and Misfits up against X Factor for third place playoff. That'll be starting in a few minutes' time, and then you can see the next matches that we'll be playing. Those are semi-finals for the challengers, semi-finals for the champions. And then I'm not sure what the next one is. But that's the schedule. Obviously, like I said, we're running ahead of time, so don't keep an eye on the times.
You are supposed to be left. Misfits left, eh? Yeah, Misfits left. Yeah, they sent you wrong, my man. Misfits. Titans and the Misfits left. The other two, that side.
Minutes.
All right, so luckily I've got my technical producer, Graham, to make sure I understand what's happening. So look on the screens. Again, just the times are not going to be right because we are running ahead of schedule. It's 11 o'clock now, and we're getting into the 12:40 match. So we're running about an hour and a half ahead of schedule. Titans up against No Show, Misfits against X Factor. Titans and No Show playing for the final of the Division 4 X-Ball 3-man, 3-person.
One minute. 30 seconds.
30 seconds to go to the first round of the final. Division 4
20
X-Ball
seconds.
3-man. Titans up against No Show. Titans playing from left to right. No Show playing from right to left.
10 seconds. Game on.
Nice central breakaway for the No Show. One in the middle, two just to either side of the smaller bunkers. Much the same sort of layout for the Titans as well. Titans moving up to the big hotel, sliding in head first, getting hit at the same time though, so they are off the field down to just 2. Movement up the right-hand side for the No Show, up to the Dorito 2. That's being mirrored by the Titans. 3 versus 2, just 2 men left now for the Titans on the field. Moving up slowly now as No Show, moving up one more position to that small pull. Also moving up to Dorito 3 are the the No Show now. Into Snake Corner go the Titans. Opens up the field a little bit. It's also a very dangerous place if you got the opposition moving up as they do. No Show moving up to the 50. That's been covered nicely by their teammate out in Dorito 1. Now, big movement up the right-hand side by No Show. No Show deciding they want to make a quick one of this one. Second kill by No Show. 3 versus 1 now. Last man's in Snake Corner, but he moves inside a little bit. I think he got away with that without being noticed, actually. Three versus 1. No Show will feel as if they've got this Titans player moving into the middle of the park now, that middle bunker. Nice and tall, he's got about a foot advantage over the head. No Show at the hotel. Into the opponent's Dorito 3. And still one of the players sitting back at Dorito 2. Movement up to the 50 now by No Show. Good defense from that central position, but No Show moving up. Every time the player picks a side, he moves up into his opponent's hotel now. And he takes a shot, and he gets it. And No Show will secure a 1-0 lead. With only a minute odd left on the clock, No Show will feel extremely confident.
Towel. 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 Point approved.
Thanks very much to our sponsors as well. You can see them down the bottom right-hand side of the screen. Go and support them. They support us, so I think you can support them as well. Thanks very much for allowing us to make the SARPL Paintball Super Cup 29 happen. Let's go to third and fourth playoff now for Division 4 X-Ball. It's the Misfits up against X Factor.
10 seconds.
Misfits playing from left to right. X Factor right to left.
Game on.
Big breakaway, both sides making big moves forwards. X Factor deciding they don't want to sit back, they're going to move forward, so they go to the hotel. Misfits make a move into the snake corner. And they make this way up to Dorito number 3. So Misfits not holding back. They've got that central defender position and then sending out 2 players. Either side. Bit of a lull now as the players consolidate. One of the X Factor players has been eliminated, so they're off the field. And snacks have arrived for the commentators. Lovely. Second breakfast. X Factor now 2 players on the field. Misfits with 3 players spread right across the field. Dorito 3 and in that snake corner. Great positions to be in. If they can move a little bit forward, they'll open up the field. Because the X Factor players are still in the middle. One at the hotel and one in that central middle position. Or back middle position. Another player moving up to that forward rocket for Misfits. Pro Shah Misfits. Pro Shah Misfit moving up into the central position now. Right at the 50. Gung-ho move by one of the Pro Shah Misfits and gets eliminated. So now suddenly it's down 1 versus 1. Man in the middle moving up now to the big hotel. So it's snake corner against the big hotel. Misfits on the left-hand side. Who will make the first move here? Pro Shah sitting comfortably behind that snake. X Factor moving up now to the 50, staying low, getting behind that bunker. Takes a couple of shots and takes a movement to the right. Trying to open up that angle. Moves further towards into the opposition's hotel. You can see on the screen now that man stuck. 1 versus 1.
Towel. Towel.
Misfits decide to throw in the towel.
Point approved.
So X Factor take themselves a 1-0 lead.
Seconds. 20 seconds. 10 seconds. Game on.
No show against the Titans. No show playing from left to right. Both teams with wide breakaways. Plenty playing balls fire. Movement up the right-hand side now by the Titans. Titans need to do something to secure this. This is first and second place now for the Division 4 X-Ball. Just a minute left on the clock and the no-show lose a player. So the Misfits, the Titans move up. Up into the Dorito. And it looks as if they've eliminated all the players. And that's going to be a quick one for the Titans. A little bit of showmanship by the Titans there.
Base.
I'll make it 1-1 with just a few seconds left on the clock.
Point approved. Seconds.
Let's go back to third and fourth playoff. Misfits up against X Factor.
20 seconds.
Can X Factor just sit back and wait? Still plenty of time on the clock, 1 minute 40.
10 seconds. Game on.
Misfits sit back, although they do send a player out to Dorito 2 and gets hit at the same time. So they spread out now, far Dorito right and into Snake left. Meanwhile, X Factor pushing forward. Somebody at the hotel. Movement forward to Dorito 2 for the Misfits. Misfits just need to try and run out the clock. It's up to the X Factor to have to do something, but what will they do? Do they have that X Factor? Just a minute left. And Misfits, correction, X Factor lose a player, so it's 2 versus 2 now. Less than a minute on the clock. Move forward by Misfits players, deciding that aggression is the best part of defense. Misfits pelting the player. They're going to eliminate another player. Now just one more player for X Factor. Misfits are going to move up to the right-hand side. Good enough here. A win now will secure them 3rd place. Just seconds left on the clock. One player in centre back for X Factor. X Factor manages to get a hit, so 1 versus 1. But that time is enough.
Game finished.
And the Misfits will secure 3rd place in the Division 4 X-Ball.
Seconds. 20 seconds. Seconds.
Just 40 seconds left on the clock. 1-1. This is for 1st place. Titans against No Show. Let's see what happens. Titans with a big run to the left-hand side of the field. No Show decided to go forward towards that forward rocket, but gets eliminated at the same time. So No Show just with 2 players. Titans look as if they still have their 3 players on the field. No Show making a forward movement to that small pillar. One all. If it ends in a no results or no points, then this goes to extra time playoff. Big movement up now by the No Show, getting up to the 50-meter mark.
Game time finished.
So that ends 1-1, and they will go into extra time.
No points. Overtime. One minute. seconds. 20 seconds. 10 seconds. Game on.
Into overtime we go for the winner of the Division 4 X-Ball Titans against No Show. 3-man tournament on the go. No Show on the right-hand side of the field, spreading up nicely to Dorito. 2, also one in the middle and one slightly to the left to middle. Titans also spread nicely around the field. No Show moving up to the first or the second row pillars and up to Dorito 3. With that central midfielder player just defending, keeping an eye on the field. Plenty of time on the clock to find a winner in this game. Movement up to the 50 now for the Titans. And a gung-ho movement by the No Show, and both players will be eliminated there. So down to 2-all. 2 players on each side. Movement to the right-hand side by No Show. A female competitor out in the Dorito 1. Movement forward by No Show now. And up to the hotel. Looking to find where their opponents are hidden. Movement to the left-hand side. That's going to be a gung-ho movement. And manages to get to that Dorito. Did the Titans, but he's going to come around to the No Show. Did he get the hit? No, he didn't. So 1 versus 1 in the corner now. No Show deciding they're not going to mess around. Big movement. And while he's hiding away, doing it quietly, he's going to get him from behind. And he gets the hit. So we got 1 versus 1 now. The lady from No Show
60
versus
seconds.
an extremely confident Titans player just walking down the field. He's going to take a shot. He gets her, and he's going to get the win.
Base.
No fear at all from that Titans player. Difference between first and second place. Titans player moved right around the field. Huge arc, covering a lot of ground. Big man as well. Had the element of surprise. And Titans will win the Division 4 X-Ball 3-man tournament.
Point approved. Game finished.
Byron. Byron, can you help? We just find the start station. So 5-man, E4 semis, challengers semis, champions semis. Then we'll take a lunch break, and then we'll do the finals for 5-man, E4 challengers, and then champions to finish off the day.
minutes.
Right, we return to 5-man paintball action. We start with the Division 4 5-man X Factor SA against Syndicate. Doomsday Raptors up against Kings 2 in the semi-finals. That'll be starting in 2 minutes, as you heard. See, we're running a little bit ahead of schedule, hour and a half ahead of schedule to be precise. So we should be finishing around about 3:30. Thank you very much for watching. Good to have you along this Sunday morning. Semi-finals, winners go through to a final. Losers go through to a 3rd and 4th place playoff. So there's still at least 2 more games for these players.
One minute. Seconds. 20 seconds. 10 seconds.
All right, let's get into the action now. X Factor SA against the Syndicate. Sun was trying very hard to come out as the players have a big breakaway. Syndicate moving 1, 2 players forward, 3 players forward. But they lose 2 players in the process, so the Syndicate in big trouble now, just to 3 men. X Factor moving up into the 50 position. And moving up into Dorito 2, X Factor also putting a player into the Snake. Another player being lost by the Syndicate. X Factor SA taking control of the match. Just 2 players now for the Syndicate. Another player, 2 quick kills. And a quick win for X Factor SA.
Base. 30 seconds.
So Doomsday Raptors come up against Kings 2 now. Second semi-final of Division 4. Sun is out now. There's actually shadows on the field. first time since we've been here, and it goes away again. Doomsday Raptors, good breakaway, making their way forward as the same for the Kings 2. They push themselves forward to that first big hotel, but 2 players for Kings 2 stuck behind that middle barrier. Not enough room there for 2 players to be able to stay for too long. Doomsday Raptors more centralized in the field. Kings 2 players, Kings 2 losing a player, so they're going to have to spread it out. And they do indeed. Kings losing another player, so just down to 3 people. Moving up to Dorito 2 as the Kings player, 1 behind the hotel and 1 in the center. Meanwhile, Raptors losing a player as I speak, so that's 1 in the middle. At the back, also 1 at the big hotel in the center of the field. Lull in the field, waiting to find out if anybody's willing to make that next move. Movement from left to, or right to left for the Raptors player. Did he make it safely into that Dorito? No, he didn't. So the Raptors lose another player. Snake corner of the Raptors making a nuisance of himself. Moving up to the right-hand side now by the Kings 2 player. Kings 2 getting very extremely confident. Take out the player in the middle. And Kings 2 will secure themselves a point.
Days. Point approved.